Christmas may be over, came and went so fast, but we're still celebrating. We're celebrating the accomplishments of one of Santa's greatest little helpers who happens to reside right here in Omaha.
Yeah, and we recently told you how Andrew the Elf took to the skies to raise money for St. Jude's. Well, we tried to get him on the show. He had to head back to the North Pole, though, right?
He had to get back to Santa, but instead he sent his friend and representative, Andrew Dean, to share his story.
The story. Andrew, good to see you.
Hey, great to see you guys as well. Thank you for having me.
I love this. I think this is so
thank
festive.
Thank you. Had to do something like this.
Yeah, so let's, Andrew couldn't be here, but you're going to share his story, right?
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
So tell us, how did this idea get started and what has Andrew been up to over the last week?
So years ago, when the whole Andrew the Elf thing kind of took off, I decided it would be fun to do something as well. Let's create a character. So I created Andrew the Elf, which is kind of like Elf on a Shelf. And last year we decided let's do something to raise money for St. Jude. The goal was to raise about $1,500 over the course of a day, flying all across the country, and throughout the day ended up raising about—
You're trying to raise $1,500.
$1,500 was the goal last year.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, we ended up raising over $13,000.
How are you taking these donations? So you're flying, you're on planes, you're flying across the country, one leg here, one leg here, one leg through the course of the day.
Correct.
How do you take money? How do the donations work?
Donations last year were all accepted online. So
And
if
there's the
people
elf
wanted
right
to donate, there's the elf, yep.
Yeah.
If people wanted to donate last year, what they did was they went to my St. Jude fundraising site. I gave them a business card to give them the link and everything, and they went directly there to give their donation. So
No, how about this year? Was this year different then?
this year was a little bit different. This
Okay.
year I was allowed to collect donations on the flights. I also had people around the country helping me send people to my link online, and just multiple different ways. So I'd say this year over 400 people came in and donated as a whole.
Not only the donations, but the people that see you on these planes and realize kind of what you're doing. What's the reaction from some of those people flying
They
the
got to be kind of
skies?
caught off guard.
Some people are confused
Like, what are you
right off the
doing?
bat, but they really, really enjoy it. They think it's something that's a lot of fun. During the flights, I actually walk up and down the aisles. We do kind of like photo shoots in the middle of the planes. The flight attendants love it. They get involved. They take photos. They take videos. They let me make in-flight announcements, stuff like that as well.
Do these flight crews know that you're coming prior to you getting there?
Well, you kind of teamed with Delta a little bit, right?
Delta and I worked together a little
Yeah.
bit. The flight crews were notified the day before that they were going to have a guy dressed as an elf on their flight. They really don't know what to expect completely, but once they see me on the plane, they know exactly who I am.
Well, they need to have a heads up because otherwise this guy is just collecting money in costume.
Right,
and
yeah.
Oh, it's for this. Yeah.
Right,
so,
exactly, yeah.
Well, let's talk about how much you raised. What was Andrew's goal?
So this year, Andrew the Elf's goal was to raise about $20,000
In how long?
in 20 hours.
20 hours.
20
Holy
hours to raise
cow.
$20,000. It was a high goal. I honestly did not think we would get there. But it took off. After the
What did you
18th
hit?
hour, I was sitting in Minneapolis. This was my fourth flight of the day. I went from Omaha to Atlanta, Atlanta to Los Angeles, Los Angeles to Minneapolis, Minneapolis back to Omaha. When I was sitting in Minneapolis, we hit $20,000, about an hour and a half early.
Congrats.
So
So what did you hit total? What was the total?
The total right now is sitting at $25,700.
That's amazing.
All going to
Congratulations.
Thank you.
St. Jude's.
Everything's going to St. Jude.
Logistically, how does this work? Do you have these flights? What if you miss a flight? I mean, how does
Or
this all
delays?
work?
That's actually happened before. A couple months ago, I was flying around the country raising money for the Breast Cancer Research Foundation, dressed in this pink spandex onesie.
So you do this again in the spring.
Right, so the elf's
I do
not your
this a
only
few
gig.
times a year.
Yeah.
I have multiple costumes. I have 3 different costumes. I have a pink man for breast cancer awareness, Andrew the Elf, and then there's also Cupid, which is during Valentine's Day, raising money for the American Cancer Society. But when I was dressed as the pink man, I was actually stuck due to a delay due to maintenance, and was stuck in this pink spandex onesie in Salt Lake City for the night.
Well, you're telling them, hey, I'm the pink man. I got to get on the next flight.
They honestly tried to hold in the plane, but by the time the flight crew was notified, they were already on the runway. So when you get there, you're kind of stuck leaving.
Where did you fly this year? You started in Omaha.
This
Take
year
us
was
through the journey.
This year was Omaha. Our first flight landed in Atlanta, Georgia. Had about 2.5 hours there. So I kind of just wandered the place. I went to the Sky Club for a little bit, visited with people, ended up meeting a lot of soldiers there that were there as well.
we
So
saw
got to
some
shake their
pictures,
hands.
yeah.
Yep, had a blast with them. Flew over to Los Angeles from there, then up to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and then finally back to home to Omaha.
So did you notice, did one city give more than others? Did you notice anything like that?
Honestly, the flight that I had from Atlanta to LA, that brought in about $750 right there.
Nice.
great.
But one of the
work.
really cool things is when I was in the air, there were people all around the country on social media sharing the story, spreading the word. So this had hundreds of shares all over social media, and that really helped. A lot of people on the ground really pushed for donations as well.
Yeah, and people in the air now, they have connectivity. They can connect on social media, and so they
Yep.
can share your story from the skies.
Yeah.
And then you land and you see how much it's taken off. How has Delta partnered with you on this?
Delta is just kind of they're a contact. They allow me access to their flight crews. They give me access to being in their sky clubs, and they kind of just get the word out to people, and they let them know.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky. I have two big groups of supporters. I have my Delta frequent flyers that are all big fans of the events I do, and I also come from a cheerleading background. So the cheerleaders
too.
are huge, and they get behind this as well. So during the day, I really saw that the Delta frequent flyers, the employees, they were all helping a lot. And then throughout the day, the cheerleaders really came in at the end of the day, and they pushed us to reach the goal.
Now, Andrew, the Cupid guy, Andrew the Pink Man, Andrew the Elf, still planning on continuing this from year to year?
This is going to go on for years to come.
So how can people find you and follow your journey?
You can follow me on Instagram. It's Andrew Dean 85. That's the easiest way for people to see these. You also can go to andrewtheelf.com. That's now set up as an informational site. It also has a link straight to Andrew the Elf's fundraising for St. Jude, so you can still donate.
Gotcha.
This is an awesome
Thanks for coming
thing
in.
that you've
Yeah,
done,
fun-
and thank
fun
you
stuff for a great cause.
Yeah,
Oh,
thanks for your hard work.
Absolutely, it's a
Congrats.
blast. I love doing it.
Great talking to you. Thanks for coming on.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Okay.